What if I told you there's a hidden truth about Golden Demon no one is really talking about that could really impact your relationship with the hobby? Most people are so busy chasing trophies and criticizing this competition that they miss one huge important thing. Something that ultimately kept me from walking away from Golden Demon for good. So today I'm gonna tell you this hidden truth about Golden Demon that changed everything for me, why it matters to you, and how it can help you level up whether you enter Golden Demon or not.
Before we begin, a quick reminder to sign up to my newsletter. I give weekly painting tips and tricks and recipes. It's free and you can unsub anytime if you find me annoying. Okay, let's jump in.
In order to tell you what this hidden truth is, we need to travel back to 2024, when I attended Golden Demon at Adepticon. The truth is, what I went through last year almost broke me and made me not wanting to attend another Golden Demon ever again. Okay, but why? Well, it wasn't because I didn't get a trophy. I kind of did pretty good, especially considering the level of the competition. What made me almost quit was something else entirely.
While I'll explain that, let me show you the first stages of what's gonna be my entry for some Golden Demon. I don't know exactly which, but this time I know I will finish because of, well, you'll see pretty soon. So first off, I need to figure out what do I want to paint. When I started this research part, I knew I wanted to paint some kind of Dark Angels, and I tried to get inspired by what's on GW's site. Space Marine 2 played a big part into wanting me to make a display base for my Space Marine, so I'm trying to think about which models would fit and what story, what they're doing, trying to pick a scene that I want to depict, and buy models, which is addictive. Why is it so freaking addictive?
You see, it's so easy to get caught up in what does it take to win mindset, analyzing past winners, what painting style work, what don't, and what the judges look for, and blah, 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 blah. And I get it. And I get why people do it. I mean, I did it myself. I get why people try to dissect this competition. We want to win. It's a prestigious title after all. But obsessing over this is still not the problem. So what is the problem, Alice?
There's still another thing that you need to buy other than your models. It's gonna play a big important role in how the piece is gonna turn out. I'm talking about the plinth. But to figure out what size plinth do you want, you need to figure out how you want to dispose your model. And for that, I first use Photoshop to give me a general idea of how the models are going to be displayed on my plinth. Mainly because I didn't have the models built yet at this stage. I just took some picture from the internet, and sorry for the people that I stole this from, and I just cropped them into PNGs and play around with them a bit, trying to make them fit. I knew I wanted this scene to depict like the inner circle of the Dark Angels giving chase to the fallen Dark Angels. And of course, I'm gonna have to make sure if the Risen fits in the lore. Yeah, that's the general idea, and I'm just playing around with the composition and Photoshop. I also took inspiration from Ben Comet's entry from 2022. His duel was really, really cool. I ended up also using his backdrop to give me an idea of how it could look with a backdrop of a Gothic church, which really fits with the 40k aesthetics and the Dark Angels Nightly aesthetics. But of course, I cannot copy it. I'm gonna have to work on my own version of that. So yeah, that's my inspiration, and I'm working on that. While I'll do this in Photoshop, I'll also try to think about what kind of lines my models form in relation to each other, because having guidelines and force lines that interact. Basically, these lines are guiding the viewer's eye around the piece. You want to pay attention to the lines that all the parts of the different models create within the piece. You kind of need to figure this main things out before you buy the plinth, because they're kind of expensive. You want to make sure you have the right size, that your model are just not way too spaced out together. For that, if I want to play around with actual 3D models before I buy the plinth, I will use some XPS pieces that I cut to size, and I will try to pose them And this way I get an idea of the three-dimensional aspect that I cannot really get in Photoshop or on paper. So that's a cool thing to do.
Back to our problem, which is not obsessing over winning and past entries. The problem is what this can lead to. If you let the competition dictate your creative choices, you're not painting for yourself, you're painting for the judges. So you're basically forcing yourself into a little box with a certain style that's not your style because that's what they want, because that's what it takes to win, right? But this is gonna make painting your entry a fucking nightmare, not fun. And you know what makes it even worse? All those ideas and rules you have about what works and what doesn't work, it's all bullshit. The harsh truth is, we don't know. They prove it again and again and again, year after year, with people being pissed off for it, with pretty much every choice the judges make. But this Golden Demon is not gonna be different. You gotta understand that judges are human beings with subjective taste and preferences, and they're judging something kind of artistic. So subjectivity, it's there, and that's why every Golden Demon is gonna be kind of different, which means that winning a trophy is no longer proof that you are better, but more like a snapshot of that day with judging dynamics, subjectivity, and also luck involved. There are many incredible painters who didn't get a trophy, and this doesn't take away their skill, talent, or worth. But also, that doesn't take away the worth and talent and skill of the people who won as well. So what? You go to a competition, pour hundreds of hours of work in a painting style that's not really yours for what? A gamble? Well, no. First of all, paint in a style you enjoy painting in, because whatever you do, it's gonna take a bunch of hours, and you wanna have fun with that, with the style you paint in, with the models you pick. Secondly, there's the very overlooked thing that I talked about in the beginning, something that I would never have completed or even considered if it wasn't for Golden Demon. We are so focused on painting our minis that we forget about some other important things as well. Golden Demon will give you a unique opportunity and motivation to make your miniatures more real and more immersed in the reality and the world they come from. It will allow you to plan and make creative choices, thinking about stuff you would never think about while sitting down painting, just practicing a technique or following a tutorial. It's all about all I've done throughout all this video. The place and the scene where our model is does affect painting choices, both color-wise and light-wise. So thinking about that before, it's kind of important. And like I said, I would never have done this without Golden Demon. In fact, I made the same mistake last year when I planned for a Depticon. Painted in the figures and then put together a base trying to make the models fit the composition when it should be the other way around. You'd pick the models that fit the composition and the scene you wanna recreate. A good painted miniatures on a display base with a story, it's just more impressive than a well-painted miniature on just a square base, a rounded base. So I highly suggest you try this. For that, I'm gonna give you 3 tips I learned from my mistake last year to help you guide you through building the right composition and atmosphere. Number 1, you think about the scene before you start painting. You study the lines that your model creates in a scene. Here, studying past winners, it's pretty useful. You can see in pretty much any entry, you can find a pattern of lines, because those lines are the guide for the viewer's eye. So pretty important. And number 3, always try to take advantage fully of the 3 dimensions, which means making the elements expanding in length, width, and height. Golden Demon can become a unique chance for you to really grow as a painter. And given time, you'll get the recognition out of it. If not a trophy into other people's eyes when they react to your amazing display. I don't know about you, but I get pretty hyped by a golden demon, even if I'm not attending. But also sometimes I guess it can be a little bit hard as well. If you don't know where to start on your improvement journey, if you feel like you're stuck in your journey of improvement, I might just know why. Because you're not learning the fundamentals. And guess what? I just launched a brand new course that dives deep and breaks down the fundamentals of miniature painting, which are painting consistency and brush control. So if you're as excited as I am when a golden demon happens and you're excited to learn, just click the link into the description and get ready to explode your skills. And see you there. Oh, you see past me. I mean, I did